Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front set, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it? Damn time proof.
Okay, welcome again to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We're coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, BK. I want to joined as always by a coughing Steve Burrows.
Good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon. How you
Yeah,
going?
thanks for ruining the intro, mate. You're back to your old form. That's good. You were doing well for a while.
Hey,
man.
man, you sprung that on me,
Yeah?
and I tried to ad-lib,
Yeah?
and that's what I come up with. So
You were much better on your ad-lib forums doing your battle raps 15 years ago. But anyway, before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys in Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee and listen to some pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. Now, Stephen,
yes, B.
we are going to start with everyone's favourite little segment.
Many are born flogs, but only a select few are truly eligible for the Shit Bloke Awards. With your host, Spee Caruana.
Jeez, that's really good music there, isn't it?
It is, I love it.
Big J for that.
Yeah.
But we've got some Shit Bloke Awards. So, Steve, you want to take us off? One vote.
One vote.
Who's pissed you off?
Well, it's actually a group of people.
Oh, a collection.
A collection, a society.
A mob.
A mob. You know what? A mob's a good word.
Yep.
And I'll throw this one out to our good friend Tyler, who, because he got a bit upset with me when I had a crack at the commuters, because he's one of them.
Yeah.
And he felt like he was chucked into that group. But I'm going to do it again, and it's a train commuters. And the reason I'm going to give one vote to train commuters generally.
Yep. So bus folk, fine.
I don't catch the bus,
Yeah.
but I'm sure they're equally as.
Yeah, they're even more scummy.
Yeah, they are pretty scummy. Is the fact that when the train arrives,
Yeah.
right? You sort of like form an orderly queue. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you would expect to happen
In a civilised society.
in a civilized society, but not on my train line.
No.
It doesn't happen. It is every man, woman, child,
Yeah. Grandma.
invalid to themselves, man.
Yeah.
They will. It is crazy. So the train will arrive, and people, like I said, you normally, what I try to do, even if I'm first in line, I'll step back because people have to get off the train first.
Of course.
Yes. And then, so you sort of like, you give them about 3 inches to get the fuck off the train, and then it's all in to get on the train. And these people are assholes, man. They are really bad. They don't care who's there.
Yeah.
People will dart from 6 meters back
Yeah.
through the pack.
Oh, they're coming deep.
Oh, they come
Crashing
deep,
the pack.
man. They do, man. They're like Emmett fucking Smith from the Dallas Emmett Smith?
Oh, he's terrible.
Dallas
reference.
Cowboys.
Terrible reference.
Straight through the... That's how we did it, man. That's how they do it, should I say. They go through the pack. There's no blitzing here.
You're trying to keep up with
I'm
the
trying
NFL.
to do some footy
Yeah,
stuff.
Steve, we know your strengths.
Okay,
And
okay.
NFL's not one of them, but you're doing well.
But you know what I'm saying, Steve.
I know what you're
So
saying.
the whole pack of them, and then what's the irony of it is when it's time to get off the train.
Yeah.
Oh, do they take their sweet ass time?
Oh, yeah.
They're walking in the train station, looking at their phones. I was like,
My favourite is the bit, because it happens with just normal by foot commuters through the city. Nothing annoys me more than either a train, bottom of an escalator I get it a lot in the city,
Okay.
and out of shops. You walk out of a shop or an escalator or a train, and they just stop. It's like, mate, there's people coming behind you. Where do you think we're supposed to go? Like, there's literally people that, if I go through to Coles, because there's only the one escalator that goes down to Coles, they'll get off the bottom of the escalator and then just stop there and stand and look around the shop where they need to shop. It's like, there is people coming behind you, like literally being forced into your back. Move the fuck out of the way.
It's like fucking domino. Who been dominoes? Like,
The worst.
Well, there you go. One vote to all of them people.
Including Tyler. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, including Tyler.
Nah, he's no good. But anyway, we're going to go 2 votes.
Yep.
I'm pulling someone out of the hat. This is a bloke that I gave some props to last week.
Okay.
And apparently I got some pretty shit mail.
Oh, that's right. You went out on a limb here.
I was up and about last week because I thought Carlton was about to start the rebuild. based around one man, Dylan Shield. Dylan Shield chose fucking Essendon. Yes, Lyle, he chose Essendon, and it pisses me off, but I wasn't going to sell it to you on Facebook. This annoys the shit out of me. It's just like the whole AFL contract thing, where these blokes just go, oh, no, I want to go to this team. It's like, mate, you go where you fucking traded to because you have a contract. You are dishonouring your contract because you want to leave. You'll go wherever we send you. But no, not in the AFL, fucking where player is king, and they just let them choose where they're going to go. It's bullshit. And the one thing I'm really annoyed about this whole AFL trade period stuff is that the fans are just as dumb as anything. They're just like, oh, this bloke left, oh, he's disloyal, this and that. But if they're getting a player from another team that's chosen your team because they chose to leave another one, oh, well, he just wants to come to a better team. It's just like, oh, fuck, it doesn't work both ways, you fuckhead. You can't just have, like, when players come to your team, that's good. But if players are leaving your team to go somewhere else, you don't just get shitty at them for leaving.
That's general sports fan hypocrisy. Yes, you know what I'm saying.
That's the word.
Yeah, that's just generally what happens, man.
Oh, it does, man.
They do, man.
Because your boys are the worst. Crows fans still, what is it, 25 years on, still booing Paddy Dangerfield every time he plays?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, let it go.
But I tell you what, I'd take great joy in seeing Kurt Tippett turn out to be a big fat fucking
Oh, that
flop.
was fine.
Wasn't that good?
Everyone's happy with that.
Because he was a jerk.
No one was really that pissed when he left. You're mad because he left and it put your team in a bit of turmoil because he got busted.
Yeah, we busted.
Like we got busted for that guy. He's not even here anymore. That's what hurt him the most.
Yeah.
But he was a fucking, so it was fine. But Dylan Shield, 2 votes, mate.
Yeah.
You should have come to the Navy Blues. Everyone looks better in Navy Blue. Hope you're doing ACL. You know what? That's hard.
Just
Achilles.
meniscus or
Yeah,
something.
just do the whole fucking year, mate. I hate you.
All right, we're talking about real dipshits. This guy here, I forgot his real name. His first name, Dunnis. His name, Dylan Dunnis. What's his fucking name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, Conor McGregor's BJJ coach.
Yep.
Dylan Dunnis, whatever his fucking name. Dylan. It's
double D's.
double D's. That guy. Okay, so you're gonna hear this somewhat. 10 days after the fight has happened?
Yeah.
By the time you
I had to put a note on the last podcast that, that was sort of big news, but we record on Friday, put it out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So anything that happens over the weekend, we tend to miss.
We do. And then this is going to happen the following week. So, as you would have known, and it's still probably in the news by the time this comes out, the Conor McGregor-Khabib fight, obviously the result was huge.
Yeah.
It was actually, the fight was, if you're...
Somewhat expected.
It was.
You know, we don't want to call him Blastradamus for nothing, but I believe if you tuned back a couple of weeks ago, we did say Conor was going to get washed.
And he did.
Yeah.
It was bad. But the other guy who almost got his butt kicked is this Dunnis guy.
Yeah.
Now, he's this guy, if people don't know him, he's, I think, hanging around Conor McGregor, he's probably getting a bit of this, bravado about him.
Bit of the old machismo, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. To a point where he actually said he could beat John Jones.
Yeah, right.
Probably what?
Would have been John Jones on coke or John Jones on steroids or
Doesn't
John Jones
matter.
clean?
Doesn't
Because they're
matter,
3 different
man.
people, really.
Yeah, but all 3 of them are whooping his ass,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, he's a guy, and he's also the guy who may be responsible for starting that riot at the end of the fight by... Apparently something happened on the outside. One of Khabib's teammates tapped him on the shoulder, pretty, patronisingly.
Yeah.
And then he turned around and shoved. Khabib saw it, over the fence he was, and all hell broke loose.
We'll just go straight into that because that's that's the thing that everyone's probably expecting us to touch on is that whole situation.
Right.
Have you ever been more entertained post-fight than that? Because the thing was, when we were at the pub watching it, we're all sitting around having a look. I had a few beers.
Yes.
And then I had a few more beers.
Yes.
And had a few more beers. And then we had a few more beers.
Right.
So, I'm starting to sound like Steve Austin program. I think you just throw the Watts in between. But... I've just never seen that before. It was ridiculous. I was just like, okay, because the fight before, Ferguson and Pettis, fucking great fight.
Yeah,
That's what everyone that watches a UFC fight wants to see. 2 guys standing toe-to-toe and slugging the shit out of it. And literally got shut down because one guy got a cut over his eye.
Yeah.
It was just like, there's too much blood, he's got a cut over his eye. We might need to stop this before someone dies.
And look, they were having a great time.
They were.
They were smiling. He broke his right hand.
Yeah.
Pettis couldn't throw it no more. He had a broken hand. And they were enjoying themselves. Every time they copped someone, there was a smile.
They're both bleeding on each other. It was great. But that's
man.
what you want to see from a fight. But then you can see with Khabib and Conor, That was like, you hear from the thing like with Khabib was like, he's not going to, ref's not going to stop it.
No.
He's going to give up to me. I'm going to make him give up. And it was just like, it's exactly what he did. Like even situations where he was on top of him and throwing punches, and just when you thought the ref was going to stop it, it's almost like he just stopped punching because he's like, no, I don't want the ref to stop this. And then he would work his position again. And the way that he not only takes him down, but like pulls him in and then like holds him with his legs. It was just like, this guy's a fucking monster. And like, guys that I was with watching the fight were just like, this is boring. When they stand him up, I'm like, if you don't know what rest grappling is, like this guy is a fucking giving a masterclass on fucking grappling here. And then even start the second round when he got stood up anyway, Khabib just punched him in the face.
And dropped him.
Yeah, we can just see he was one guy who, I said, Conor's got the skills, and we're not going to deny that. But he hasn't fought in 2 years. He doesn't have that drive. He is fighting a guy who's a dead shit fucking machine. If you're not 100% in the game, if you're even 99% in the game, you're going to get killed. Because this guy is the way this guy fights is so intense. And then the fact that he went to defend his guy. He was, as soon as he finished the fight, yelling at Conor. That's fair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
Turned
fine.
around to the crowd. Flipped off the corner. That's fair because imagine like everyone's like, oh, he's an animal, he's this and that. It's like, no. Imagine Khabib was black and he was throwing those sorts of racial insults at a guy that was black. Everyone would go, yep, that's fair. Say he threw an N-word at him or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone would go, yep, it's more than fair for him to jump out and beat the shit out of him. Yet, because it's a Russian Muslim, everyone's just like, oh no, he's just a fucking animal. Blah, 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 blah. It's like he was pretty much like walking that borderline of this is inappropriate racism and offensive and this and that. And the guy just snapped. And I could completely understand it. I just thought it was crazy. I thought it was great.
Yeah, definitely. And it was that huge. I mean, the whole build-up, obviously they showed it in a promo when he had a problem with Conor's teammate and Conor came back with a bus situation. There's been bad blood. It's been building up. And for that Dylan Dunnis guy, whatever his fucking name is, to just to kick it off. When the tensions are so high. But, I was at my boy Rasley's house and there was a few of us over there and we were standing up, we were rewinding it because it was on Fox, so we were like, what the fuck? And we're dissecting it. Shit, look like the guy in the red t-shirt. What the fuck's he doing?
The guy jumps in and just like, you think he just king hits Conor and stuff like that. Because I didn't like all that stuff.
That was dreadful.
The guys jumping in the ring and going after Conor after he'd just been in a fight, that was unacceptable.
No.
And even though they say, oh, Conor threw the first punch, this is a guy who knows what's up. A guy is stalking towards him after a fight. He knew that guy was coming. So if you don't shoot first, you're going to get shot.
Exactly.
So he threw he threw the first punch, but he had to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? He's backed into a corner, man.
He literally, backed into a corner.
And then he got punched in the head right from behind, which that guy was just,
that
was terrible,
That is
man.
dog.
And I think he's actually a fighter, by the way, that guy in the red.
My favourite thing, though, to come out of this whole situation, Khabib's dad.
Okay.
Khabib's dad came out and said, well, I know I understand the UFC will punish me in this and that, and he goes, but that will be nothing compared to the punishment that I'll give him because he can do whatever he wants within the walls of the octagon. That's what we've taught them. You have discipline.
Yes.
That's the one big thing about the Muslim faith is you be very disciplined. And jumping out and attacking people showed a lack of discipline. So this is the baddest man on the fucking planet inside the UFC, and he's still scared of his old man. His old man will put the fucking boots to him. He will be punished by, and he will. It's not like don't the cops bring you home drunk. Your dad. I'll take care of him. I'll punish him. But this is like he's gonna get a punishment, some form from his old man, and I love that respect angle for it. Yes, that was one of the most. It was the most unusual and inappropriate acts I've ever seen at a UFC event, but the people that were involved with, I can understand.
Do you think what? Can I just ask you a quick question? So Khabib jumps the fence.
Yep.
And then obviously jumps into the crowd, and then there's a bit of a fracas, and people throwing punches and stuff like that. Do you see that as being a problem? What part of the problem do you just see the whole thing, or can you see that's because, for example,
I can understand the jumping into the crowd.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it's not like crowd. It's not crowd of people.
No,
it's cornermen.
That's right. Yeah,
it's fight affiliated people. Yeah, there's some media there and stuff like that. But I get that. That bit there is like, okay, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's the jumping into the cage from his corner people to attack Conor. That's the bit, to me, that was completely out of bounds.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen guys get super excited and jump out. Like I said, remember Tito beat Vitor and jumped out of the crowd and ran up into the crowd with the flags and started waving at him. You didn't know where he was going. You didn't know what he was doing. That sort of stuff, that exuberance of a guy that's just fought, I understand it because they're on such an the adrenaline is literally going.
Yeah.
But the guys jumping in, that was the bit that was to me 100% unacceptable. And yeah, that's the bit I didn't get. Khabib, like I said, he snapped.
Yes.
And I understand, as a bloke that has a temper problem, I understand him in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole ganging up bullshit.
I totally agree.
Listen, you got to admire the fact that Khabib's just fought for 3.5, 4 rounds, and then he's just like, nah, I fucking fight everyone. It's just like this guy just jumped out there. But it's not like he went, get him, boys. You know, he goes, I'm doing it myself. I'll just go out there and fight another guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand he is a savage. He's a warrior. He's a true fighter in that sense. And that's what he was just like, no, I'm not. I've been disrespected enough. I've held my tongue. And I proved it against this guy who's been talking shit about me.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said he sat,
And he fucking did.
sat there in the press conference with that fucking stone face going, can we just get this over with? Because I know what I can do. And you can just see it in him. And he just had that moment of rage and just went after your mate Double D's.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And the reason I asked you is I did want to bring this up is that the Conor fans, who were calling him an animal and this, that, the other, they forget a few years ago that Conor did exactly the same thing. Now, the difference was, it was when Conor was chasing Aldo for his title.
Yep. And
he ran up right into Aldo's face, like nose to nose, and I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you. And Aldo took it very well and he laughed and, because he didn't, to be honest, he didn't really treat Conor McGregor with any kind of respect. He didn't actually think he would fight him, but he did. So Conor McGregor has done that before. So for all you Conor McGregor fanboys,
everyone has revisionist history when it comes to
people. Yeah, he's jumped the fence. Don't worry about it. And he could have, if Aldo responded, that could have been a drama.
Same situation. Yeah.
So just these Conor fans, because these Conor fans are the worst.
Oh yeah.
My boy Rassley, man, when we're leading into the match, he's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a first round knockout to Conor. They believe in the hype.
Yeah.
They get caught up in the hype. Man.
The thing that I was getting watching the fight is, and this is the whole thing that I got from one of my long conversations with Cole. Beloved former trainer, rest in peace. But he said to me, he goes, this is the way you work when you're a wrestler. He goes, you'll start off as a trainee and you'll wrestle and this and that, and you'll a few matches, you might be a face, you might be a heel, blah, blah, blah. You work your way up, you might get yourself in a position to win a belt. And he goes, if you win a belt, you establish yourself as a person, as a player in the game. And he goes, then after that, even if you don't have the belt or you do, you're the people's champion. You know what I mean? And so then every time you have a match, as a good guy, you're fighting for the people. That's what Conor is.
Okay.
I watched it during. I know.
But who people?
Yeah,
who people though?
The people, the fucking millions that tune in to watch him. And I was even watching the fight, and knowing that knowing that I was going for Khabib, knowing Khabib was going to win, when I think it was second round or something, when he stood up out of one of the takedowns, and he just because he goes down swinging. He's not like I'm talking shit and almost like a Ric Flair, when the push comes to shove, I'm going to beg off.
Yeah.
And he'll still go down swinging. And people love that sort of personality. Because, you ask anyone, they think, if you got me in a fight, I'd never quit, I'd never give up, and I'll win every fight. And he plays to those people, and so those people, he will always be their champion, because even when he was outmatched and he, 2 years off, and they'll make all the excuses like massive fanboys do. But they will always, the same way you defend mixed drinking and gambling and it's ridiculous.
Don't compare Conor McGregor and Michael Jordan.
Oh, mate, you fans.
There's no comparison there.
I know, Conor's much better. He sells booze, he doesn't just drink it. But that's the thing, they'll look at everything that's sort of working against him, so they'll just always turn the narrative to suit them. And so I'll look at what's working against him and go, that's our guy, no matter what, and that's what happened to me in my life, I got pushed down, but I didn't give up, that's why he's going to be.
He fucking tapped, man.
Doesn't matter, man. Everyone fucking taps in fighting,
some people go out.
Who's gone out undefeated?
No, goes out. Yes.
Because he wasn't.
Goes up,
he wasn't being choked.
He wasn't.
No,
he was getting cracked.
Yeah, it was cracked.
Yeah, I know.
His neck would have snapped.
Yes, well,
And if you've ever
you're prepared to die in the ring, he'll tell you that he's prepared to die in the ring. Well, maybe he's not.
Everyone says that because that sells tickets. But if you've ever trained in martial arts or done jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, they're like, if you're done, you're done. There's no shame in fucking tapping out, because if you tap out to something basic, that's bad. But if you got yourself caught, then that's stupid. But if you give, there's no shame tapping out.
Okay.
This is coming from a guy that's probably the worst fight you've had is with fucking what, Matt or Dom? Which one of your brothers?
Undefeated, whatever. Undefeated anyway, man. Well, like a bit, man.
Yeah, this is... Oh, okay, here we go. Because this is going to tap into where I'm going to go next to, because this is the most exciting dust-up of the week.
Yeah.
It's going to go into, I think, the guy that needs to be your new number one, needs to replace Mick as the greatest basketballer of all time, because there was so many comparisons to be made.
He's my kindred spirit.
Between Jimmy Butler and Steve Burrows. Stevie, how are you feeling about Jimmy Buckets right now?
Kind of proud, my friend. Kind of proud, man. He's on the outs and rocks up. He hasn't trained in, weeks?
Yeah.
Rocks up to training.
Yeah.
Dominates training from what I understand, and then gives it to everyone afterwards.
Pulls the starter, tells the starters, all right, you guys have a team. I'll take the third string guys, including a very old Noel Deng.
There's a mop bucket guy.
And I said the best tweet I saw was the way this story is being told. Everyone's going to, this urban legend of this story is going to be told at the end of it. It's going to be like, he grabbed two guys from accounting, the team mascot, and an assistant coach, and he beat them. But he did take three bench, third stringers, or four stringers, third stringers, and took on the starters and beat them. And so much so, was talking shit during the game. They said the whole gym was silent, except for Jimmy talking the whole game. Said to Kat, every time you dump it in post, you pass it off. He goes, you can't take me down there. So next play, Cat posts up, ball comes in, Jimmy bumps him, passes it off. It's like, oh, you even proving how correct he is. And then he did the interview afterwards, and he goes, who's the most talented player on our team? Who's the best player on our team? It's Cat. He goes, who's the most God-given talent? He goes, Wicks. He's got the big hands, he's got the athleticism, he's got the size. And he goes, but who plays the hardest? He goes, it's me. And he's that arsehole. And this is a guy that you would love because he's in that mold of, if he was in the 90s, we would be applauding his competitive edge. Now in the Participation Trophy Award generation, he's seen as, he's aggressive arsehole.
Yeah,
he's too competitive. You know what I mean? You don't need to be doing this. It's a game of basketball. You don't need to take it so seriously. Don't make fun of people. Stephen.
Yeah, well, dude, man, I'm super proud. He was given to the GN.
Oh, yeah, you can't fucking win without me.
Dude, man, like I said, I feel for him, man, because from a player who has been
player now.
ousted, outed by his own team, the SEMO All Stars.
Just SEMO now, mate.
Oh, that just makes me sick. That is just fucking the ghost of basketball would be. Oh my god. I cannot get over this. So anyway,
Mick is rolling bottles of gin down the aisle. So disgusting.
Insane. But look, I mean, it was. And me and Speedy, obviously, we texted a little bit about it early in the week. And it was, man. And what Speedy said was true. The competitiveness, man, is frowned upon now.
Yeah,
man,
don't be too aggressive.
I was listening to BJ Armstrong. I don't know how old this interview was, but he was talking,
Must have been really old because BJ Armstrong hasn't been relevant since maybe 1999.
Right. Well, they were talking about LeBron and Jordan, and everyone who's played the game of basketball will get asked who they think is better, LeBron and Jordan. So he kind of went through his
synopsis,
bits and pieces, and he says all of the different players, yada yada yada. But he goes, "This is what I'll give to Jordan." He goes, "Jordan's the competitiveness," and which it's been well documented. We've talked about it. But he goes, and the interview goes, "Is it true that he never kept score?" He goes, "Well, I don't know about that." He goes, "But every play he treated as 0-0.
Yeah.
So if you're up by 20, it didn't matter, man.
Yeah.
He goes, most people kind of take their foot off.
Yeah.
Jordan never did that.
No.
And by the sounds of it, unless it's All-Star Weekend, Butler doesn't do the same, man. He is.
Well, that was my favourite. That was I loved the man after the fact that he turned up at the All-Star game and said, "Yeah, don't put me in. I'm hungover." And LA nightlife was once again undefeated. You know me, I'm a scumbag. I like scumbag behaviour like that. But this here is taking him to a whole nother level in my book. I was just I was so proud that someone was. Because I'm not the super competitive type. I am competitive. I'm pretty bad. I'm not but it's the him calling out, because he's a hard worker. And he was pick 30.
Right.
And he's on the team with two guys that were the number one picks that were probably highly recruited out of, high school, this and that. They've pretty much had, they've had the golden ticket. They've had the golden treatment. This is a guy that had to earn his way into the league.
Yeah.
And worked his way up to being, maybe top 15 player in the league. And this is...
Best, yeah, definitely.
This is a guy that plays both ends of the court as hard as humanly possible. And they're almost being frowned upon for being so competitive. It's like the biggest thing that they complain about these days about the NBA is, they're all friends. There's no real rivalries, this and that. This is a guy that will fucking step on your neck to win a game of basketball. And
they tell you about it afterwards.
This is the thing that everyone is asking for.
Yeah.
And then when he actually displays it, they go, "Oh no, that's too much. It's too much, Stephen.
Too much.
Stop arguing. Stop keeping score."
Yeah, I know. That's
the
right.
coaches have already blown the whistle. The other game's on now. You can't play 1-on-1 with Brett anymore. Get off the court, Stephen.
That's right, man. Well, good on Butler. That was killer.
I just love it.
I love the whole thing because I as normal, I get my news alerts from Spee.
Yep.
He goes, "How good is this Butler stuff?" So straight away, I was like, Google. I was like, what the fuck? Because he's on the Twitter. His ear's close to the ground. So I was glad to see.
I'll give you a quick rundown of how my day starts. I wake up and take a shit. And that's a good half an hour in there. I go through all my socials. Because the best thing is, because while we're asleep, there's the daytime in America.
Sure.
So by the time we have a look at Twitter, it's just all the sports news. So I'm literally 5:30 in the morning getting all the best sports news. And then fuck, who else do I know that's up right now? I can talk to him about this because it's so exciting. I come out and tell Satan. She doesn't care. She wasn't fussed.
Nah.
Look, this guy got traded. She's like, that's nice.
Yeah.
But it's big news.
I know. I told the wife about the Khabib Conor thing.
Yeah.
She's like, that's nice, dude. I was like, but the guy did the thing.
They just belittle us.
Yeah,
they don't deserve us,
no,
Steve.
they don't. No.
That's a different story for every time. Feels like we better get into group therapy there. But we're going to go into our NBA previews, switching from Jimmy straight through to the thing. Now, last year, Blastradamus, you were incredible. Only 2 picks wrong for your playoff spots. Do you want to start with the playoffs, or do you want to go through your awards first?
I don't know, man. I'm happy with either. I haven't given it much thought, so it's going to be we're going to be on the fly.
Did you see my boys, the Lakers preseason game, knocking off the Warriors in Vegas?
Oh, okay, yeah. So
very
this was the first game LeBron and Lonzo played together?
Yep.
Did they actually get court time together?
Yep.
How'd they go?
Quite well.
Okay, what's quite well?
Well, he threw an alley-oop to him, and Lonzo threw it down. It was pretty.
Oh, so LeBron threw it to him.
It was good. It was great.
That's nice.
Great little set play.
Yeah.
Threw it to LeBron on the wing. Lonzo goes through the lane on a back screen from McGee, so he's wide open. LeBron lobs it over, 2-hand jab. It was like, that's a really good set play. You know, you see a really good set play, you're just like, yes. Because I love when you see good ball movement, good set play, as opposed to just like someone calling for a screen and just running pick and roll. I love when you see, that's one thing you do admire, as much as I don't like the Celtics. I like watching the Celtics play in that regard because, coming out of a timeout, it's always give a set play. No one's running pick and roll.
Yeah.
It's good to see. And so that was like, there were signs there that you are in serious doubt. You're in jeopardy with this 47 wins.
Oh, it's preseason, man. I think Golden State lost to Phoenix, for fuck's sake, man.
Yeah,
don't worry about it, man. Who played on Golden State?
Everyone except for Draymond.
Okay, and how many minutes did they play?
Well, they all played the same amount. So
12, 15.
No, 15. LeBron only played 15 too.
Okay.
So both teams had their starters in the first half.
Was Steve Kerr there?
They wasn't like you didn't get sent off again.
Okay,
no, they all played their time, and they it was like at halftime when they were both it was about I think it was 2 points. I think Lakers up by 2 at halftime, and both team starters had played most of it. But it was like
Warriors' quarters.
They're not. Yeah, I know, but they're not going their hardest and stuff. But just like I said, the big thing I look for is team.
Yeah,
and there's one thing that I just noticed with, like I said, watching set plays. And watching a lot of Warriors basketball because of the last few years, they're just on TV all the time.
Of course, yeah.
They're going to struggle until Boogie comes in because they need a good passing big man. And even as goofy as McGee is, he knows basketball. His mum's a basketballer. You know, and all this, you should see the screens that they do with Bogut and stuff like that. They're running that one a lot where they'll pass it to the 5 will be on the wing. They'll pass it into him high. Steph will come around the back and they'll get a dribble handoff. That wasn't happening because their big man was just like goofy. They had a couple of goofy big men, and it's just like, that may, it's one of their plays that I see a lot. You know what I mean? Like there's just a couple of situations where they go big man, then kick it out, this and that, and their big man was just throwing the ball away or getting the ball stripped. Just like they may struggle without a big man.
Okay.
This is one of these small thing. They've only got a tiny role, but if they don't play that role within that offense, they still got. Let's be honest, they're still going to win a shitload of games because Clay, Steph, and Durant can just shoot the lights out whenever they want. But I'm saying some of those closer games, they may, they didn't look invincible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So is this going to be reflected in your?
Oh, they're still going number 1 seed.
They're going number 1.
Yeah, well, they're the number 1 seed. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you.
So they'll be number 1 over Houston. You think seed wise?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Houston won a lot of games last year.
Yeah, last year they also had defensive players. Last year, this year they got Melo.
Well, I think. Did you see?
You run me down yours. You give me your.
In order? Are we going to go order? Or are we just going to go top 8?
Give me a top 8, Steve. We'll start with the East because I know we're going to go with the West. West is easy.
Yeah.
So the East, just chuck some names out there. Just let me know how you feel.
All right. Well, definitely we have. I'd say Boston.
Boston.
They'll be hopefully full strength more than a quarter this year.
Yep.
So definitely go Boston. I'm going to say, well, yeah, I don't know about Cleveland. I don't know. Let's just put them on the bench for a minute.
Yeah.
Indiana will get in the 8. Indiana will definitely get in the 8. Milwaukee will get in the 8. Let me think. Philly will definitely get in the 8.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how they go. I'm really, really excited to see how they go. Toronto will go in the 8.
There we go.
Washington will end up in the 8.
Yeah.
How many have I got? That's 6 maybe now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now,
here's the tough 2.
Here's the teams that...
How about my secondary Knicks? How are they looking?
Well, they've won a few preseason games.
They were undefeated for a good 6 games in the preseason.
Yeah.
They're terrible, Steve.
Get off them. Charlotte might make the 8.
So you go Charlotte. You want to put it in?
Charlotte might make 8.
With Tony Parker?
And yeah, well, why not? I mean, he might be 63, but you know. Now, who's in 8? Now, it's going to be Cleveland, it's going to be Miami.
You got Cleveland, Miami, Detroit, all playing for that 8 spot. After you threw Charlotte in there.
Charlotte.
You're like, might pull Charlotte out.
Well, Detroit actually was half okay last year. Miami, who plays for Miami nowadays? Sam Whiteside still there.
Yeah,
Dragic is still there.
They
weren't bad actually. They actually went alright in the playoffs.
Bam Adebayo and Josh Richardson, young players. They've got one of those teams where they've got a lot of good guys, nothing great.
Well, Cleveland, I'd love for Cleveland to make the playoffs, just to shut the LeBron fans, just to say, look, motherfuckers, the team was half okay, all right? Kevin Love will have a probably MVP season this year.
And JR, don't forget JR.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget JR.
Look,
I feel like you're forgetting JR.
Hey, Mick, I'm sorry. I went a bit early there.
Oh, you're politics, boys.
Yeah, Mick, you're gone. I'm sorry, buddy. Unless you come out of retirement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bench Charlotte. They'll probably come 9.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
Oh, jeez, that's a fall from grace.
I'm gonna put Miami in. I'm gonna put Miami in, and I'm gonna put Cleveland in. Sorry, Detroit. Because I want Cleveland to come in. So that's a want thing. I want them to get in. Just because, you know, when LeBron left them last time, they won like 6 games or something, and they're the worst team ever. So, yeah. So that's my East.
Well, I'll give you East. I'm going to run down mine. It's going to be very similar. Boston, Philly, Indiana, Milwaukee, Toronto, Washington. Washington's the one actually I'm not set on.
Okay.
I think if things don't go well, someone's getting traded.
Okay.
And that's the one that I am on the fence about.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of teams I want to put in there.
Okay.
I want to put in, I think Brooklyn is almost ready to make it. Yeah, I know they've been terrible for a long time, but they're almost ready.
Like Carlton of the AFL, man. You know, they're just destined to sort of like be in those last.
They made that bad trade. That one trade has really killed them for a long time. But I just think they've got a few pieces. They play as a team. But I'm not putting them in. I'm saying I'd like to.
You like to?
I'd like to put in Detroit. I just don't like Blake Griffin. Don't believe in him.
I
think he's
Blake
terrible.
Griffin. Yeah.
And they're tied to his contract now for a long time, so that's really going to hurt them.
Yeah.
I want to chuck in Cleveland.
You're not going to?
No, I said I do want to chuck in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They're another one that's you do want to see them do well. I think Colin Sexton's going to be very, very good.
Okay.
But I'm definitely chucking in Miami.
Yep.
Definitely chucking in Miami.
Okay.
And another one, thinking maybe Chicago. It's either Chicago or Cleveland for that last spot.
Okay.
Because, they've got a couple of guys, like Zach LaVine's come off a knee recon and he's got to prove himself. Jabari Parker is another year removed from and he's just come from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have a lot to prove too.
Yeah.
So I reckon I'm going to take Cleveland out.
Yep. Oh, Cleveland out.
Cleveland out. I'm going to put Chicago in. So it's the same as yours.
Chicago.
Yeah, just swap Cleveland with Chicago.
For mixed boys, it makes sense. Yeah, good on you. Yeah, we're going back in a bit of mixed legacy there.
There's not really any, other than Jimmy Butler, there's no one really in Chicago's history that I like, because I hated D-Rose as well. So, yeah, D-Rose could have ended up in a better place than me, because I hated him.
Okay, so there we go. So
give me a West.
same. Oh, West. All right, here we go. Definitely the West. The West is tough because from 3 to about 10,
they're good.
It's a fucking lottery almost, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get the obvious ones out of the way. Houston.
Yep.
Golden State, obviously.
Yep. LA, obviously.
So obviously we got obviously at the moment.
Fuck you, dick there.
We're going. Well, I don't know.
I can't wait.
Will 46 wins get them in the playoffs?
We're gonna have candles, Steve. We're gonna have a romantic dinner. Couple of bottles of wine. See where that takes us.
Is Jimmy gonna play all year?
It's in Notting Hill.
Notting Hill. Is Jimmy gonna play all year? You think? I'm gonna put Utah in there.
Utah.
Definitely going Utah. You know what? Blazers are a good regular season team.
They are a great regular season team.
Whether they're good in the playoffs is a whole different ball game. OKC will make again. They'll just probably come, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere along the lines. Can Spurs win with DeRozan? And still, they still got Aldridge playing, don't they? So they're going to be there. They'll probably sneak in. They'll probably come.
San
San
Antonio Spurs. You are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got two spots.
More. So who's vying for those last two? You count Dallas out.
You got Denver.
Denver's are always.
They only missed it by half a game last year.
That's right. Denver.
You've got New Orleans.
No, Anthony
Davis.
Davis.
You've got Minnesota.
Oh my God! See, that's
You've
how
got
tough
the Lakers.
Right. All right. So look, I'm gonna. If Butler plays all year, can I put an asterisk next to it?
Nope.
All right.
Blastradamus knows what happens.
I'm going to say, okay, shit, Denver, Minnesota, Lakers, out of the 3. Lakers are going to make the playoffs.
This proves the importance of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
The fact that they have Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, and you're still not sure if they'll make the playoffs without Jimmy Butler.
Because it can be a half a game of a game, So
Los Angeles Lakers, number 1 seed.
Put them 8th, yep. And
put them 8th, you motherfucker.
It's going to be a coin toss between Minnesota and Utah.
No, you've already got Utah in there.
No, sorry, Minnesota, Denver, sorry. That's what I meant to say.
So you completely scrapping the Pelicans.
Oh, my God. But Anthony Davis, who else has he got with him?
He's got Holiday. He's got
Drew Holiday.
Julius Randle now.
Okay,
from the Lakers. No, he's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Got Mirotic. The team was
Mirotic is good.
They did lose Rondo, though.
Yeah, and where's he gone? Some hack team in LA.
Oh, fuck. You don't even have a team, mate.
I do. It's called Houston Rockets. And did you hear Chris Paul saying the other day how Melo is
stop getting past
one of the best player of all time, he said.
Yeah.
He's one of the best ever players to do it.
One of the best players of all time.
Can you go against Anthony Davis?
I don't think so.
I can't go is a Butler just going to be Hoodie Mello when it comes to season?
Yeah. What are you doing? Make a decision. 3, 2, 1. Minnesota. Oh. The disrespect sent to Denver as well.
Oh no, I like Denver.
Oh,
I like Denver, and they're one of my 8 teams.
They reckon maybe MVP season. But
but do they think he's going to end up in the Lakers in the end or something like that anyway?
Yeah, eventually. Everyone ends up in the Lakers eventually. Yeah. Okay, so running down mine, we've got the Los Angeles Lakers, greatest team of all time. You've got your Golden State Warriors. You've got Houston. You've got Utah. I do like Utah.
Oh yeah.
OKC.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be controversial because I've been a fan of them for a while. I think this is the year the Spurs miss out.
Okay.
They are a good team.
Yeah.
They are a great team.
And they nut those wins out. Man.
Missing Danny Green.
Yep.
Kawhi was missing all last year.
That's right.
But missing Manu. Manu's huge for them.
But Manu, in the end, was playing about, 18 minutes in the end?
He's one of those guys. It's just, you have him. It's like, they're saying the thing that's going to make the Lakers better is the fact they're playing next to LeBron. When you're like, if I was playing basketball, okay, so if I'm playing basketball on another social team and I'm sort of the best player, we might win. I'm not that confident. But if I'm playing, with the boys we used to play with SEMO,
SEMO All-Stars.
SEMO All-Stars, sorry. And if I was on the court with you guys, you could chuck the ball to Jamie, I'm like, I feel a lot better, Sure. Like the pressure comes off you a little bit. You start feeling a little bit more, so if you've got someone like Manu that's there that, he's old, but he's only give you 15 minutes, but it's got to be some of the best 15 minutes you've seen, it makes you feel a little bit more confident.
Of course.
And losing that steadying force in him and Parker and all that era is pretty well gone. As far as, and losing Dejounte Murray as well as point guard, having Patty Mills be their starting point guard all year.
Is he going to be starting? He has to.
He has to because Murray's out for the year. So he's done the ACL, which Dylan Shields should do. But that's going to be huge. So I think this is maybe the first year. It's probably going to come bite me in the ass. It'll probably be second seed. But I just think this may be the year. As much as I love the Spurs, I think maybe the year Spurs miss out.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans.
I didn't want to not pick Anthony Davis because he's
you would pick him if you
probably
wanted
top
him.
3 best players in the league.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got Portland.
Yeah.
7. Denver.
So Spurs and Minnesota out?
Spurs and Minnesota out. Jimmy
Oh.
Butler gets traded midway through the season.
Midway through the season.
Yep.
If they're winning...
Yeah,
then
doesn't
the other
matter.
thing is his contract's coming up at the end of the season.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler gets traded before the deadline. Jimmy Butler's gone.
Okay.
So that's why, and I just don't think Towns and Wiggins can carry it on their own.
But, if he's getting traded, you expect something to come back in return.
Never get the qualities like for like. You know,
No.
they're never going to trade for a like player. They'll get
No.
parts and pieces, but you very rarely get a like for like.
Very nice.
So quickly run through. We'll just quickly before we wrap it up. We'll quickly run through our awards. MVP.
Yep.
Who have you got?
Oh, man, this is too tough, man. I need to think more about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be pretty open this year, man.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a few contenders.
Well, there's
LeBron's always around the mark.
There we go, LeBron James. Because that's my choice this
Is that
year.
your choice?
LBJ.
Can we come back and do this another time, man?
You know what? We'll let you come back another day. You guys
Yeah.
can think about it because we've got another big decision to come up. You've got to think of a very special list for next week. We're bringing back one of the special lists, guys. It's going to be a good one next week. Steve's promised me. It's going to be put some thought into it. It's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be pretty good too. Usually, I don't like Steve's ideas. This one, not half bad. Can't be better than worse than his shit story. But anyway, that's going to be us for this week, guys. For Speaker, I want to say goodbye. For Steve Burrows,
See you later.
We'll speak to you next week. Peace.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.